Judy, former President Barack Obama is just wrapping up about an hour-long conversation where he's spoken extensively about the dangers of disinformation, specifically here at home and around the world. And the former president also spoke extensively about how he believes the most glaring example of the dangers of disinformation right now are Russian propaganda and its effects on the war in Ukraine.
Back on his pre-presidential territory, former President Obama returned to the University of Chicago campus. Before joining a conversation about how much has changed in the country he once led, Mr. Obama met with his foundation scholars in person. In this three-day conference focused on disinformation's effect on democracy, top of the president's mind is the grinding war in Ukraine.
What we're seeing is the consequences of that kind of toxic mix in the hands of an autocratic government that doesn't have a lot of checks and balances.
The subject is familiar to the 44th president. Russia invaded and annexed Crimea and eastern portions of Ukrainian territory on Obama's watch.
As somebody who grappled with the incursion into Crimea and the eastern portions of Ukraine, I have been encouraged by the European reaction.
With the benefit of hindsight and a personal history with Vladimir Putin, the former president says the Russian invasions should serve as a warning to democracies around the world.
What we're seeing is a reversion back to old ways of thinking about power and place and identity.
As part of that warning, former President Barack Obama also spoke about the effects of disinformation on things like election security. He believes people here in the United States, he says, have gotten complacent and take elections for granted. And he believes there needs to be more regulation on online platforms and their distribution of what he believes is disinformation.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 Chicago YouTube channel.